everybody, welcome back. It's K&T. This is actually Kiss and Tell Magazine, our last podcast in 2024. We hope you had a good Thanksgiving holiday, and we wish you good holiday for Christmas and Kwanzaa, and there's another one, Kwanzaa, and my mind is gone. But we want to end our podcast for 2024 by talking about sex toys. So our guest today is Tatiana, and
Hi, everybody.
she owns V for Vibe, and we are going to talk about sex toys. So let's begin.
Well, thanks for inviting me, Dr. Jenny, and it's such an honor. Thanks to LinkedIn, it's the best platform to connect, and that's how we met. And
Yeah.
speaking of Viva Vibes, yeah, I started the company 5.5 years ago, and it's a sexual health and sexual wellness marketplace. So we also focus on sex education. We have an extended blog section with over 2,000 articles, over 1,000 of different products, catering for everybody, men, women, non-binary folks, and make people happy. By the end of the day, life is too short, and this product brings a lot of joy and happiness and improve the quality of life.
So tell us how it got started. How did you get into this business?
So I back in the day, I was 25 years old, and I was thinking, okay, what is my next step? And what is the industry that I can see some synergy with my knowledge and my passion? And I thought sex tech and sexual health, it's also recession-proof industry. Plus, you bring the joy, for me, I'm very positive person, and bringing something that can change people's life and improve the quality of their well-being, because that was a big step for myself personally when I started like introducing some of these products into my daily life. And I realized there is such a lack of research and the lack of quality products and lack of innovation in the industry overall. Like most of the companies are dominated um, by men, and they don't focus much on packaging, on the quality of the product, on the presentation, on the research, on the clinical study. And I felt, let's see what I can do. And I like challenges. Like my background is I studied Chinese and English in my university. Like I'm from Russia and I moved here at 21. So the why I chose Chinese, because I love challenges. And I felt this industry is very complex, at the same time is very enticing and interesting. And also it fits with my entrepreneurial spirit. And also tech background, like doing all search engine optimization and like content creation and putting all the pieces together. So I just felt it was relevant to me, and I'm happy I did it. It's been like over 5 years, and I'm very grateful.
Did you have any trouble at the beginning? Was there
Oh,
any?
oh
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like most entrepreneurs face problem on top of the problem, and the frequency of those problems, it's a lot. That's why so many people, what I notice, especially in like sex tech and sexual wellness, they give up after 1 year. They cannot compete with more established brands, people who have more budget and more money, more funding for the company, or they don't have enough passion and they give up too soon. And in the beginning, it was really hard to attract attention. And now I feel in the modern world, it's all about attention marketing. You need to get attention because everything is so competitive, especially in the digital space, like Google search at all cost money and time, and being persistent and putting like daily effort, also hiring the right people, finding the engineers, designers, um, see if they qualify to create the product and if they can actually bring an idea into reality. So those were like the biggest challenges.
Did you have anybody that didn't know what they were doing? Like the engineer who didn't understand what you were trying to do and you kept going back and forth, that's not what I meant, you know, stuff like that.
So thankfully, I recruited the right person right away. But there was a challenge with a designer because designers, they don't have this like engineering aspect. And when they were putting something beautiful together, and then
Mhm.
we approach a lot of like factories and manufacturing facilities, and they say it's impossible to make because it's so complex. And then I had to find like an engineer, and I thankfully I made the right decision and it saved me a lot of money. But
Mhm.
it takes a lot of prototypes also to bring the product to life, on average 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what you were talking about earlier, you know, before we began about a study. What was that study that you were talking about?
Oh, the study, we were
Mhm.
we had such an honor to participate in the study and donate our EOS Bullet vibrator. Uh,
Uh-huh.
we partnered with doctors at Cedars-Sinai in California, and the study came positive. So product improves sexual health, mental health, and urinary health, and improves so many aspects of life. And hopefully soon doctors will have ability to prescribe the vibrators as a treatment for some conditions. Do you think it will happen eventually, or
Really? You really want me to answer that? You know, um, I hope so. I agree with you that, you know, sexual health is as important to us, a human being, as the body, as mental health and physical health.
Mm,
All three of them will intertwine. The problem I see, you know, as a professional in the field is that we don't give enough credit to the sexual health industry. So even though the porn industry and even sex toys, you know, they make, you know, a decent paycheck and there's a lot of energy put into that, there's still not enough credit. So they're kind of overlooked. I mean, I know the porn industry has a negative connotation to it because people rely on it too much to um, learn about what sex is and sex isn't. And typically, porn is not your is not a good education source. Um, but having a physician, you know, whether it be a gynecologist, your urologist, or even your internist, say, you know, you should try a sex toy. You know, that might help you. The only caveat I see to that is that means they have to know what they're talking about. And from my understanding, and at least in America, maybe it's different in other countries, the medical field doesn't have a lot of education in sexual health. They might take one class, maybe two at the most, but they really don't get deep into all the nuances of sexual health, you know. So,
and that's what I like about the recent trends in the sexual wellness space. It's the
mhm,
companies finally start focusing on connection between mental health and
mhm,
sexual,
yeah.
and
Yeah,
especially for
yeah,
females. Yeah, it's
yeah,
like everything.
yeah, and well, not just. I mean, I know there's a lot of focus on females, but men need as much attention on sexual health as women do, and all of us do, regardless of how you identify. Um, in my humble opinion, that part of the reason Kiss and Tell was started is um, is to say it's okay to talk about this. It's okay to talk about your sexual health. It's okay for your sexual part of your life to be a priority. You don't have to put it in the shadows. So, yeah.
And I think that's another challenge comes into my mind, even with
Mhm.
social media and like shadow banning the content
Right,
around creators. I speak to so many sex therapists and work with them on daily
mhm,
basis. And yeah, everybody face these problems. They say I don't have time to figure it out the algorithm behind Instagram, but
right,
my content or on TikTok, my content stopped getting enough attention, and it's frustrating. And basically the doctor and all the professor voices are silenced by social media platforms, which I feel is unacceptable. And
right.
that's where LinkedIn comes into game, and they're more open-minded, surprisingly. And if you
Mhm.
approach like sexual wellness and sex tech from professional point of view and make it classy and uh,
Right,
nicely out there, like you get a lot of traction. And I feel like it should change a lot, and especially with like even TikTok shop, right? They don't allow the sale of adult toys, and people have to get creative and how to put the products there. Even
right.
though they're actually turned on a platform, you can still figure it out the way. If you have the wheel, you have the way, right? You can figure
Mhm.
it out the way how to sell these products, and it shouldn't be that stigmatized.
Right. It shouldn't be. Well, the other hiccup is when it's misinformation, because even TikTok is still feeding people misinformation on this topic, on all aspects of sexual health, sexuality, sex education. Even though there's a tendency of saying, well, because you have all these followers, therefore you must know what you're talking about. And that's not necessarily true. So that's the other problem that people in the field, sexual health experts, that are educated in it and whatnot, they're competing with people who are just popular influencers, if you how they label it. So they're competing with that. So when they say actually this influencer is inaccurate, they get backlash from that, and they're not saying it um to be hurtful. They're saying it to be helpful. To say, wait a minute, just so you know, this information that you're being fed is not, you know, is actually causing you more harm than good. So that's part
Yeah.
of it too.
And a lot of also sexual wellness advocate and people who have like no knowledge. Even I
Mm,
feel like even if you're not a doctor and you want to be an
mm,
advocate, educate yourself, like go into classes, like read more
right.
information. And there is a lot of misinformation, and people just try to make as much money as possible, and they don't focus on the actual facts and data and the research. And that's definitely the field that needs to be improved.
Yeah, definitely. It does need more focus and more celebrate celebrate celebrate. I'm sorry, saying my words right. It needs to be celebrated and not squashed. I mean, I know America right now is becoming more conservative, but you can still have the information at your hands. And if you want to be conservative, you can be. However, it's still okay to talk about this topic because we're all human beings. And the best part of the human body is its sexual ability.
Mhm.
It's this, it's it's designed to enjoy sex. Sex is not just for reproduction only. I mean, yes, that's a wonderful aspect of it, but it is our body is designed to enjoy being touched and to have an orgasm and to feel close and intimate with somebody. It happens naturally in the brain if we give it permission. So,
Yeah, and reproduce and also
mhm,
yeah, create the new life.
right.
And
Oh
that's
yeah.
what we're designed to do pretty much. And well,
Mhm.
also what I noticed, a lot of families and people who were like married and they don't prioritize sexual life and that
Mhm.
aspect at all, and it impacts the mental health so much, like significantly. And
Yeah.
some religion gets in the way, and it's a shame. I feel like it's definitely a shame not to prioritize that aspect, because then you're miserable. You cannot be yourself, and sex impacts creativity, productivity, how you perform at your job, and so many other things. And I feel that's another challenge.
So, how do you feel? Like, what's the best part of what you do for a living? What's the best part of having be provide?
So the best part is never having a boring moment. It's all it's always fun, and it's always something. Everything makes me so excited. Like the moment I wake up every day, 5 a.m., I know I'm on a mission, and just adding new products, adding more articles, creating more products. Oh, I'm frozen. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm back.
yeah,
Back.
yeah.
Happens. Yeah, just working on something that will change people's life and open the new gate to exploration of something they have never tried, and all the connections. And like even speaking to you right now, it's like it's such a blessing. Like what can be better on Friday afternoon, right?
Yeah, hey, it's always good to talk about sex, you
Mm.
know? I mean, as long as everybody is on the same page, and even if you're not, even if you're learning something you didn't know before, it's still opening your mind to other possibilities. So,
Yeah, and also I like another thing is also like the traffic, and do like on the back end of the website and how to like build a marketplace. And I like this business aspect as well. And it
mhm,
makes me happy to see like the business grow and like take things to a whole new level. And all these partnerships, I mean, they contribute massively. And I like another trend that now the doctors and like sex therapists, urologists, gynecologists, everybody become more open-minded, even selling the products directly to their patients.
yeah.
Because before it was more like such a taboo, and
Mhm,
doctor is doctor, and you don't want to be an entrepreneur and like do the business as well. But now seeing the trend and that people are actually interested in, and they trust the doctor's opinion. I mean, it's
right.
way better than go online and order from the source you don't know, and
Mhm,
rather get the quality advice from like medical representative. That's
mhm.
another thing.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I mean, that there is a shift happening, that there's more medical professionals supporting that sexual health and wellness and intimacy and pleasure and all that is an important aspect to your life. That is just as important, like we said earlier, as your mental health and physical health. Um,
Mhm.
it should not be ignored or minimized. So, yeah.
And another thing I feel, the product that is revolutionary, right?
Mhm.
Erectile dysfunction tools, um, and all the products, those can potentially change the life so much for men. And we constantly, like at Viva Vibes, we receive the feedback after they use the products. and how much like their life has changed, and they feel more back in the masculine energy,
Mhm.
and they're happy with the partners, and their relationship in general becomes better. So
Mhm.
the entire relationship aspect in connection with the sexual health, it's also, yeah, it's important.
Do you have any funny stories to share? Like something that was really funny that happened since you've been doing this?
Every time, like I say, people ask me what do I do for a living, and
Mhm.
go into like networking events, and when they hear like, oh, I'm in a sex tech and sexual wellness space, and seeing the reaction of people, and they don't truly understand what is that, and it's like, oh, what is that? I feel
Mhm.
like that's the funniest thing I receive, and the feedback, and the seeing
Yeah.
people's reaction, and a little shock factor.
Right.
Oh, you in a sex tech? What? Sorry, what exactly do you do?
Mhm. And when you say you make sex toys, what do they say then?
Oh, that's cool. Oh,
Uh,
that's excellent. Yeah,
yeah.
but some people, um, yeah, they're more conservative, and they become shy actually when they
Oh,
hear it. Yeah, they feel
oh,
like,
they
oh,
do.
they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
They feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. They were all talking to you freely until they found that out, and then they became quiet.
Yeah, they became quiet, and the energy changed, and they don't want to talk to me anymore.
Like, see, that's why you need a kiss and tell. It's okay. It's okay to talk about anything with that, as long as you're not causing any harm. It's okay to talk about it. You know
Yeah,
that.
and then another funny moment, like relationship, some relationship expert, and especially if they're men, like they can
Mhm.
get intimidated. Like if you approach them about business partnership, like they can
Mhm.
get really intimidated by the connection of, oh, sorry, I'm a doctor of relationship and relationship specialist. Like, what does it have to do with sex toys? I was like,
Right.
if you don't understand that, I mean, like, you should reassess your knowledge in this.
Yes. Yeah, good for you that you realize that, you've learned that over the past 5.5 years, you're right. If they're uncomfortable talking about that, that means that they can't help somebody that might be in their office, so they can cause more harm than good. So hopefully they're smart enough to whoever to say, I can't help you with that, but I can refer you to somebody else who can, so yeah.
And usually the people who react like so drastically and like aggressively towards like this topic, it means that they're not fully satisfied with themselves as
Mhm.
well, or they might hide and don't even truly express like who they are sexually, and it bothers them, and they project that on other people.
Right. They do. But that's hard to understand. See, you and I can talk about that freely, but it's hard to define that when you're in the situation and to put words to it. I mean, you know that you're uncomfortable. You know that you don't feel confident in that moment, but being able to articulate those feelings, someone has to teach you how to do that. And usually you don't learn that with your sex education courses. Hopefully you learn it in relationships, or you learn it from attending therapy, or you learn it from even taking sex as an adult, you know, or reading books. There's so many books out there, too, to help you have that conversation and understand. So.
And read the V for Vibe sex education blog, and just
Mhm.
go there and explore any topic and get
That's
that valuable information.
right. Or I have to plug Kiss and Tell magazine too.
I have to subscribe. I'm your
Yeah,
friend, so I have to subscribe now, so I get all these updates
yeah.
about your post and information and
Hmm.
sources.
Yeah, we do. But thank you for joining today. Thank you for being the last podcast of 2024.
Oh, wow. I feel
Yeah,
honored. I didn't know I'm the last one this
yeah,
year. And
yes.
thanks for inviting me. And I was like so happy. Like your message made my day when
Um,
you approached me and seeing like female entrepreneurs and doctors and people in the industry. I mean, it's a blessing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.